Hello, myself Dr. P.K. Verma. You all biologists are invited in the biology classes of Dr. P.K. Verma. In this session, I shall begin with the introduction of genetics. It is for all standards from plus 2, honors and even postgraduate. But you know that genetics is included in CBSE syllabus in class 12 as chapter 5. Now, let me introduce the subject. Genetics is the science of study of characters inherited from parents to their offsprings. Most commonly, it is said that genetics is the science of study of inheritance. Inheritance of what? Inheritance of characters. No doubt, at the time of Mendel, the term character was used, and later on, when the term genetics was used by Bateson, he simply meant that genesis, reproduction, the science of producing organism. He did not mean the gene in the right sense as we think today. So I have improvised the definition as it is also the study of structure and function of genes and their distribution in family and population. What is the improvisation? Most people study genetics and inheritance in a family line. But now it is also studied at the level of population, that is known as population genetics. So the genetics has a wider spectrum than 100 years earlier. Now before 1905, we had no idea how, to what extent the characters are transferred from parents to their offspring. But it was Gregor Johann Mendel who already has uncovered this mystery in the years 1953 to 62. He had discussed on the basis of statistics how the characters are inherited from the parent to their offspring in Pisum sativum, the common pea or garden pea. Now he presented his research paper in two meetings of the Natural History Society of Brunn in 1865. These papers were published in the Proceedings of the Natural History Society in 1866. But unfortunately, Mendel left the job of a teacher and became a priest in a church, and therefore he could not express his ideas before the greater group of scientists and the students of biology. In 1900, his work was discovered by three botanists, Hugo de Vries, Karl Koren, and Erich von Schmack-Ciseneg in Austria. These three scientists were surprised what Mendel had found out. William Watson therefore repeated experiments of Mendel to verify his findings, and he was surprised that the results were perfectly correct. Later on, the similar experiment was done on Giamage in 1908 by Hutchinson and on the fruit fly Drosophila melanogaster by Morgan in 1906. They all were surprised to find that the principles of inheritance discussed by Mendel was so much correct. Now here I would like to say that genetics is a peculiar science. If an example is taken of one particular variety or one particular species of organism, you cannot change the species, you cannot change the variety without a proper study. So all results are fixed for the given variety and given species only. Watson 1905 for the first time introduced the word genetics for this new discipline of science. Correns systematized his work into principles or laws of inheritance. That is, now when we say law of dominance, law of segregation or law of independent assortment, these terms were given by Koren. Mendel himself simply had explained first observation, second observation and the third observation. Koren was intelligent to explain the observations in the form of principles that became the law of inheritance. Johansen in 1909 used the term gene and genotype. Genotype, he meant the internal structure of the genes by which a character is expressed. Now come to Mendel again. He is the great Gregor Johann Mendel, and this is the original signature taken from a museum. What are his achievements and the journey of life? He was born in 1822 in a poor peasant family in Silesian, a small village of Moravia in Austria. At the age of 21, he joined at a monastery in Brunn, now in Czechoslovakia, and became a priest in 1847. In 1851, he joined the University of Vienna and studied physics and botany. He was graduated in science in 1853. In addition to his duties as an abbot, he also worked as a science teacher at Brunn, and somehow he became interested in hybridization experiments as well as the studies on inheritance. He is rightly honored as father of genetics, not only because he was the first person to explain inheritance, but also because when he had discussed his findings, he said correctly everything about gametogenesis and fertilization. But at that time, we had no idea about the chromosomes, about the cell division, especially about the meiosis and fertilization. Later on, he served in a church till his death, sometimes in 1880s. Now, what was his work? He worked on the garden P. Pisum sativum. The flowers are self-pollinating but can be artificially pollinated. Why self-pollinating? Because these are cleistogamous flowers. They do not bloom completely. Only the standard opens the wings and keel, enclose the entire endoecium and gynoecium. So they have always self-pollination, self-fertilization. Now he identified a number of characters that are present in two or more forms. Each form is now called trait. He selected only the two contrasting pairs of traits for every characters and then developed the plants, separated the inferior characters for at least 3 years so that the plants could be purified. What purification means? It means the red flowering plant will always produce red flowering plant. The tall plant will always produce tall plant. That is, there is no mixing of inferior character in them. So it becomes pure breeding. The inferior characters are normally found in pure form. Now, out of many characters and observations on them, he could explain only 7 pairs of characters for his study that had clear-cut trend of inheritance. So only 7 pairs of characters have been discussed here also. What are these characters? These characters are height of the plant, tallness, dwarfness. Another is color of the flower, purple, red and white. Third is position of the flower, axillary or terminal. Fourth is shape of the pod, that is legume. The smooth or full and wavy. Wavy fruits are those in which a few seeds are present. The color of the pod, green versus yellow. In my opinion, in place of color of pod, he could have selected color of the cotyledon, that are yellow most commonly and green rarely. The shape of seed is round and wrinkled, and the color of seed, that is seed coat, is yellow and green. In the first column, all characters, all the 7 traits are more powerful, stronger, and these have been named as dominant. And in the second column, these are inferior characters known as recessive. Now this is the part of the plant Pisum sativum. Most of you are familiar with the pod that you commonly call chimney. And these fruits are opened to show the seeds inside them. Here in the figure, the pod is full with more than 6 or 7 seeds inside them. The flowers are white in color. Now these are the 7 characters that I had mentioned a slide earlier. Shape of seed, round wrinkle, color of seed coat, yellow green, color of flower, purple and white, shape of fruit, full and wavy, height of plant, tall or dwarf, position of flower, axillary or terminal, and the color of pod, green and yellow. P has many characters with contrasting forms. These forms are called traits. You should avoid the term character repeatedly used by most people. Character is the color of the flower. It may be purple or white. Character is the height of the plant. It may be tall or dwarf. Character is the shape of seed. It may be round or wrinkled. So the round wrinkledness, tallness, dwarfness, or purple and whiteness are the traits. The plants were separated for 3 or more years to purify their traits. That is, the seeds of one trait did not produce plants of another trait. These are called pure breeding plants. Experiments were done with such pure breeding plants by pollinating plants with desired traits. Now one set of plants were emasculated. It means in the bud condition, the calyx and corolla were opened by forceps and the male sex organ endoecium was plucked up. So the flower was left with only gynoecium. The removal of the male character is called emasculation. Now the flower behaves as a female flower, female plant, and we have to pollinate them with desired character of pollen grains. The pollen grains of plants with contrasting sets of traits were collected and dusted over stigma of emasculated flowers. These were allowed to develop and their seeds were shown to study characters in the first generation, that is first filial generation or F1 generation. Again, the plants of first filial generation were self-crossed and the second generation F2 was obtained. You see, this is the flower. Here there are endoecium and gynoecium. Endoecium is the male sex organ of the flower. These are the flowers, and here is the endoecium. The anther is shown round. These are to be removed, and another is the gynoecium. It is monocarpellary with superior ovary. Now the endoecia were plucked away and only gynoecium was left, and now this can be pollinated by any pollen grain with known character. His experiments to discuss inheritance of a single character is known as monohybrid cross. That is, if you take one character, tall versus dwarf, it is monohybrid. Purple versus white, it is monohybrid. Round seed versus wrinkled seed, it is monohybrid. So you have to discuss only one character. But when two characters are discussed, it is called dihybrid cross. One character monohybrid, two characters dihybrid. You can discuss more than two characters, but its explanation becomes difficult because of a complex statistics. He explained the inheritance on the basis of statistics, suggesting two traits independently forming gametes. At his time, chromosomes were not discovered, so we had no idea of meiosis, but his suggestions regarding gametogenesis and fertilization were all true. We respect Gregor Johann Mendel, thankfully and heartfully, as father of genetics, because he opened a new era of modern biology, that is the science of genetics. Thank you very much.